A question about what role should Kobe Bryant play with the Lakers and whether or not the players should want him to. Hour number 2 up next. First take. Come holler.
Plus, Jimmy Garoppolo sounds like he's trying to get paid and not stick around, which is usually a good idea. Maybe not this time. First take, hour number 2, right now.
That's true. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
All right, so after coming off a franchise-worst 17-65 season and missing the playoffs for 3 straight seasons, the longest postseason drought in franchise history, Jeannie Buss finally made the move that fans have been clamoring for, firing her brother Jim Buss as Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations and also releasing longtime GM Mitch Kupchak, who's been with the team for 30 years. After the firing, she did the hiring of one Magic Johnson, who is now the Lakers President of Basketball Operations. Just last week, he paid a visit to good old Bristol and talked about bringing big names back to the Lake Show.
Guys are going to want to come play. No, because I know business. I know how to win. And I'm going to tell you something about the Lakers that's different from any other organization. You put that purple and gold on. Right now, we're third.
Yep.
Third worst.
No, third in when you talk about sports paraphernalia, T-shirts and all of that.
Still, right?
Can't buy a win, still third, yeah.
Still third,
that's
right?
impressive, yeah.
When you think about that brand, it's a worldwide brand.
It sure is, Stephen A., but we know the city of L.A. also likes winners. So how long before Magic gets the Lakers in championship form?
You know what? I'm going to give it about 3 years because I think they're going to be a bevy of free agents who are available who will strongly consider coming to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think that the difference between Magic Johnson and a lot of these other teams is that he's going to get one of these players. He's going to get a star to sign on to resurrect Lakers lore. That's what he's after. That's what he'll look to do. Magic Johnson wants, he sits there and talks about it's not Showtime, but he's only talking about the culture in terms of the culture that exists today compared to what it was. But understand, Magic understands that Los Angeles expects a show. It matters to Lakers Nation. It's not just about winning. It's about having the kind of athlete that can give you a show. And he's going to be looking for that and the opportunity to bring somebody to Hollywood and hand them the reins and to say, lead this show into the new era of Lakers lore. That's something that's going to be, as far as I'm concerned, incredibly appealing. Remember, back in the day when Magic Johnson was first drafted, the Lakers had an opportunity to grab him or Sidney Moncrief. They picked Irvin Magic Johnson. Sidney Moncrief was a fabulous collegiate player, but what he wasn't was Showtime. He was better than average. He was good, close to great. He could put up points. He could make things happen, but he wasn't Showtime. He didn't give you a reason to walk through the turnstiles and fill up those seats. Magic Johnson not only looking for that marquee player, he's looking for that marquee attraction. And if you are a player that has an opportunity to get handed those reins by the Los Angeles Lakers, that's a huge, huge deal for you in Hollywood. And I think that's going to be their selling point. And somewhere along the line, I think he's going to pull it off. It's just a matter of how soon he's going to do it.
I'm going to speak for Lakers fans right now. I did a radio show out there with Marcellus Wiley for almost 6 years. The reason that Lakers fans want to compete for a championship is because you can't three-peat. You can't start a dynasty until you win the first one. They are not interested in just being good and entertaining and maybe competing and one day winning a championship. This is by far the #1 basketball brand in the history of the known universe. I know the Celtics have one more championship win than the Lakers do, but the vast majority of them took place in the pre-modern era. The Lakers have won 10 championships since Magic Johnson came into the league, by far the most. Now, Lakers fans want dynasties. They're not interested in being the New York Knicks of the 90s and maybe one day making it to the finals or being the Phoenix Suns. Look at that. We're on SportsCenter all the time. We're scoring a lot of points, but we don't win championships or even doing that and winning one. They want a reign of terror. They want the rest of the league to look and go, damn, it's unfair how good the Lakers are. That's that's why when you see the tandems that have won in modern Lakers history, it's Magic and Kareem. There were lots of good free agents, lots of all-stars. Magic and Kareem. It's
So how
Kobe
long,
and
Matt?
Shaq. Kobe and Shaq. It is 3 years. This is the reason.
Correct.
Now, if they would have done something stupid and gone all in on DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge or Carmelo Anthony, which they tried, that would have been a bad mistake because they would have been mired in cap problems and not good enough to win a championship. In fact, they didn't. So they gave 4-year deals to Mozgov and Luol Deng. In 2 years, those will be expiring contracts. You can move them. Good. That coincides with the development of a nucleus who I would say includes not only Jordan Clarkson, who's locked up, but D'Angelo Russell, Larry Nance Jr., Julius Randle, and Brandon Ingram. Of those 5, you'll be able to see who's a keeper, who you can trade, who will attract other players, who develops, etc. You'll make a decision on a couple of those guys. You'll get rid of the expiring contracts, and you'll be able to sign real marquee franchise cornerstone level free agents, and I do not mean LaMarcus Aldridge, who's an excellent player. I mean Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm talking about the prime-time best players in the world. It is, and that's if everything goes right, Stephen A. That means they got to stink the rest of the year, keep their top 3 pick this year, their first rounder in 2019, decide right on every young player they have, clear the decks of the bad contracts, and convince the marquee free agents to come along. Now, that's a lot. Magic can do it. Magic and Genie can absolutely get it done. But even Dr. Jerry Buss, the late, greatest owner in the history of American team sports, will tell you, you need to take risks, you need to get a little lucky, you need to be really smart. They need all those things, and then maybe in 3 years can they not only contend for a championship, but set themselves up going forward to reestablish the Lakers at their rightful position, #1 in the basketball universe.
You've made it far too complicated. You say 3 years. I say 3 years because I think that's what it's going to take for you to attract that free agent that you want, who's also box office. But monetarily speaking, one of the things that you've forgotten to mention is the fact that the new TV money, the elevation of the salary cap, those obviously gives you additional flexibility that you don't have to wait 3 years down the line for. The cap went up significantly this summer. It's going up again this coming summer. The Los Angeles Lakers are committed to just $80 million next season, $47 million a year after that. That's less than 3 years. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, even though you've got that money, and that, again, is very, very paramount, the key is being able to attract an individual because your franchise has been resurrected in the eyes of Joe Public in terms of having the credibility that it needs. You can dissect it all you want to, but in the end, all it takes is the arrival of one willing to establish the mantle, and then all of a sudden everything else falls in place. When LeBron James decided to go to Miami, dudes were willing to follow and take less. When he went to Cleveland, dudes were willing to follow and take less. You didn't have to do that in Golden State, but Golden State is elevating itself to a point where you may have individuals like the David West of the world who's willing to go there and take less just because he wants a legitimate shot at a ring. Those kind of things can potentially happen if one person is willing to show up and carry the mantle. I think that's what this comes down to.
Well, I want to continue this conversation because when Magic was in town, we also asked him if he was in charge, which he is. Would you want Kobe Bryant involved? And Magic said this.
First call I'll make if I'm in charge, Kobe Bryant. Because Kobe understands winning. He understands also these players, you know. And so I would call, what role you want, bro? Give me, if you got a day, just give me that day. I'll take that. Whatever time he has, I want him to come and be a part of it.
Well, first of all, I spoke to Kobe Bryant. Whatever Magic Johnson and the Lakers need, he will do that. Let's make sure we get that out the way. He's a Laker for life. That's what Kobe is going to do, whatever he can to help.
Max.
Yeah.
Should the Lakers players want Kobe around?
First of all, I love when Lakers legends try to be slick because it is a family-owned business, and that's such a Lakers inside family job. When Magic Johnson shows up going, if I'm given the job, the first call I'll make is to Kobe. Let me tell you how to read that. I got the job. I already called Kobe. That's what that means to me. And should the Lakers want Kobe involved? It's a moot point because Kobe's got his hooks into the team already. Pelinka, his agent and business partner, is going to be the GM. Magic Johnson's already on national TV talking about, I'm going to say, Kobe, whatever you want. Kobe Bryant is involved. Whether or not that's a good thing remains to be seen. In this iteration of the team, with these players, in this version of the team, maybe not, because he already played with them to the detriment of their winning, although it helped their draft position. But the fact is, going forward, it will not be this iteration of the team. It will be something else. And then the question becomes, Kobe, now that he's not on the floor taking all the shots as a diminished version of himself, is he seen by other stars around the league as something that they want to be around? Let me learn that next level intensity from this guy. Or is he seen as someone who's going to be such a taskmaster, so the way great players and sometimes are not great coaches because they expect so much from others, is he going to be like that and demoralize them? I suspect that over time, Kobe Bryant will have great value to the Lakers. I wonder if that value shows up right away or if that works against the Lakers in the short run, as memories of Kobe the player and the kind of taskmaster he was are still fresh in players' minds.
Once again, far more complicated than necessary. If Kobe Bryant, if you are a player and you want to be great, you want Kobe Bryant around. If you're not committed to greatness, he's the last person you want to be around. You do not want to be around this man if you are happy getting a check and showing up to work, doing your job and going home.
He ain't the guy for you, right?
If you ain't putting in the extra work, if you are not committed to greatness, if you are not willing to make the necessary sacrifices, you don't want to be around Kobe. You don't want to be around Kobe. And by the way, I'm a witness to this. You don't want to be around Kobe no matter what you're doing if you ain't trying to be great at what you do. He just doesn't have any respect for you. He doesn't have any respect for anybody that's not trying to establish themselves at elite in whatever their chosen profession is. He's got a problem with you. That's his M.O.
But Stephen A., so did Magic.
How he's built.
So did Magic, but Magic has the following ability, which is why I think it's very good he's president of basketball operations, or potentially very good. We'll see how he does. Magic has the ability, I've seen this many times, he can walk into a room and make everybody in that room want to be the best versions of themselves. He uplifts those around him, the way LeBron James does on a team. Kobe is much more like Michael Jordan or Larry Bird, which is, it's going to be his way, and it's not about uplifting you. It's almost about scaring you, like, and leading by example, like, you got to grind for this. It's a different kind of personality.
Actually, Kobe is not like Michael Jordan. And the reason why he's not like Michael Jordan is that Michael Jordan commanded more respect than resentment. Michael didn't care whether you resented him or not, but that was because Michael was more personable. And you were supposed to understand what he was about, while at the same time he was personable, and you got to ultimately be held accountable for what you do and you don't do. Kobe is different. Even though Michael Jordan was that way as a competitor himself, Kobe is damn near animalistic in regards to everything that involves his time and his energy. He's not that guy. Michael could step back and relax on certain issues, in certain ways, on certain things. That ain't Kobe. Michael Jordan threw a fabulous party during NBA All-Star Weekend, flew in just for the party, and then left the next morning. You don't find Kobe. Kobe didn't have to be here. Kobe ain't going to be here. Kobe don't want to mingle. Kobe ain't that dude. Kobe is all about whatever. He literally epitomizes what my pastor, A.R. Bernard, at Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn, New York, always says about men. Mission-minded. That's what Kobe is. Everything is a mission. Everything.
And we'll see how
he
is in the front office. But I was in D.C. with Michael Jordan's last year with the Wizards. He demoralized that team in the locker room, and I saw it. And Michael Jordan's the greatest player who ever lived. And Kobe Bryant is almost an exact replica of Michael Jordan on the court. He's as close to Jordan as you can get. On the court. And I also saw him demoralize a Lakers team the last couple of years of his team. I mean, like, these are the greatest players ever. But they expect from others the kind of work they put in. And you're right, Stephen A., that's not for everybody. It'll separate the men from the boys. But it also may dissuade some players who just have a different kind of personality, the way they want to go about their business, maybe from joining the Lakers, at least in the short run. It's going to be interesting to see.
We'll leave it there. Coming up, Jimmy G said he loved to be out on the field playing, but as it stands, he's still a Patriot. Should he demand a trade so he can get out there? And up next, Steve Kerr is refusing to follow many people's advice and stick to sports. Is his readiness to unleash on politics a bad thing?
Hey, this is Shaquille O'Neal, the one who taught Stephen A. Smith everything he knows. and you're watching First Take. Hi, Molly.
This President's Day.